Hello, Paulette Bernard here from the 65th Force Support Squadron, and we have a special guest host today.
I'm Caitlin Parr, a student here at Lajes.
And we welcome you to the first in a series on resiliency, and we're very happy to have Senor Avelino Ormond here, and you're I think probably best known as the organic gardener. And you are very well known. As a matter of fact, you are the head of an organic gardening association in the Azores. I know that you lecture throughout the Azores as well as other parts of Europe on the aspects of organic gardening. So, welcome.
It's a pleasure to have you.
I think we'd like to start off with a very basic question.
So, we understand that you work on base, but how did you get interested in organic farming?
It's a very interesting question. I've worked on base for 31 years, and of course I farmed since then, even before that. And the idea was to have something going on in parallel with my job. I would be more on the sustainable side of the house. Of course, it developed into a passion. I did 20 years of conventional farming, and now I have 14 years of ecological farming.
Wow.
So what's the main difference between conventional farming and ecological farming?
Well, there's a huge difference with the two methods of farming, and being that conventional farming methods are completely different than the ecological. I can use an example of the way a farmer thinks when he's conventional, like I was. Well, here goes a seed or a plant, and we're planting into soil. Just imagine a pot and you're planting something. What comes to the mind of a conventional farmer right away is that he plants and he thinks, how am I going to fertilize my plant? You know? So the ecological farming mental thinking here is completely different than the approach, which is how should I prepare my soil to take care of this plant? So
does that contribute to organic gardening as well, or?
Yes, this is the organic products compared to conventional products are completely different products, because one is fertilized with synthesized chemicals, the other one is fertilized with botanical chemicals. So if there's fertilization included. So the output is completely different in terms of taste, in terms of concentration of nutrients. And this is one aspect that there's lots of doubts into it and lots of studies. But my experience all over the years makes me think clearly and say it clearly that they are two different things. Being that the product that we are eating with a different taste says it all, you know. So, and the way the plants grow with time, because there's no fertilizers to speed up growth, there's no real approaches or excessive nitrogen in the soil to make it grow as fast as possible, then the plant has the capability to synthesize the macro but the micronutrients like cobalt, like sulfur, and all the micro that are supposed to be there, so we don't have to later on take supplements.
You know, that's so interesting, and the name of your farm is Bio-Fontinhas, the art of balance. How did you come up with that name, and does it relate to what you've been talking about?
It relates, and that's why I picked that name. Bio-Fontinhas was easy to pick because the name of the village was Fontinhas, so just put bio in front of it will make Bio-Fontinhas. The art of balance is due to the fact that I don't use any outside substances in order to make my plants grow.
So everything's natural.
Everything is natural, but beyond that, it's the sustainable factor and the understanding, the consistency of the methods. That's very important, not to be in panic when something happens, and create balance between the plant's soil and the insect population that thrives there. So having all this in balance, then you turn out to have plants that are healthy with the presence of the good and bad insects that will not really affect you and take you out of production.
You have 4 greenhouses.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that you're actually very well known on the island for your wonderful salads, as well as for smoothies. Can you tell us a little bit about the types of leafy plants that you grow, and then why are those leafy plants that you grow better for us, if they are, than maybe something that we would buy from a conventional farmer?
I have a large quantity of leaves and a large variety because I also study nutrition as well as farming, and I like studying that, so I can talk about the nutrition of each plant by itself when somebody asks, like, oh, what can we take out of Swiss chard or collard green or kale? You know, kale is so famous today, but all the plants are powerful. Of course, if you're in a program where somebody talks about one particular plant, people that have no knowledge about vegetables will think, wow, that must be the best vegetable in the world. But when you analyze them all, they all have so much to give you. Like, I think of collard greens, I think of antioxidant and a phytochemical. Antioxidant is sulforaphane, and sulforaphane it's what is present in broccoli. Why? Because kale, collard greens, and turnips are all the same botanic family, cruciferous family. So that's why we shouldn't be admiring just one vegetable. We should use diversity.
So why are organic foods so important?
It's important because you'll eat clean vegetables and completely clean from synthesized chemical substances that harm your body. So by eating organic produce, you can at least guarantee that you only have the presence of botanical chemicals that are made out of plants instead of synthesized substances that can harm your body.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, I read in a really great book, it was actually a cookbook, it said that we need to be aware of what our food's food is. What is our food eating? And so when you talked about non-synthetic soil, I think that certainly is what the book was referring to. Is that correct?
Yes, it's very important to think like this. So when you eat beef, you should ask yourself, what was this animal eating?
Right.
Because it will end up in your body one way or the other.
Right.
So you want to know exactly what his or her, the diet is of the animal. So the plants is the same thing. So it depends on the type of fertilizer that was used that will end up on your plate and in your body. If it is something that doesn't have DNA identified, then the body will go crazy and what is he eating, you know? Something I don't recognize.
Right.
How can we tell the difference between an organic food and a non-organic food?
Organic food, you should look for symbols. In the States, you'll find different symbols than you find in Europe. In Europe, the certifier companies will be like EcoCert and others. In the States will be OMRI, O-M-R-I, and then each state will have their symbol of organic certified. So these organisms will go visit the farmers and every 3 months or whatever the program is there. And as they go, they will collect samples of soil, samples of veggies to analyze in the laboratory to see if the farmer is doing it through the profile or whatever that was established for him to put up with.
Well, I think that we're so fortunate to have you on this island because I think we can all benefit from the organic foods, and I know as probably one of your longtime customers, I look forward to going and getting my salads and my vegetables every day. A lot of people try the vegetable smoothies, some people juice, some people cook their vegetables that they get from you, any number of ways. So again, it's just a pleasure having you so close by, and I think we can all benefit from your knowledge and the contribution that you're making towards our health, which I think health is really a very important component of resiliency. Don't you think so? Definitely. Now, did your parents tell you when you were growing up, eat your veggies, eat your veggies?
They didn't give me a choice. I had to.
You had to. Mm-hmm. And what was your attitude about vegetables when you were growing up?
Well, they started when I was at a very young age, so I grew up with it. So I do eat a lot of vegetables, but I haven't ate a lot of organic vegetables, and I think I should because it is healthier, and it's a good life choice.
I think that's a very interesting point. It's a great life choice. So we would like to have you back and share some more information. I mean, you don't know so much, and I hope you would agree to come back sometime. Of course.
Or we'll come visit you and your organic farm.
We'll do both.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I think we can all agree that health is really a very crucial component to our resiliency. And so I think with that, we'd like to end with resiliency is the power to power on.
Cheers.
Cheers.